Hey guys, what's up? It's Snake here, and I had been playing Moon all morning, and it's honestly just a crazy, crazy map. So here we go. I didn't show you this before, but this is where you start out. You start out at Area 51. The zombies are real easy to kill for about 10 seconds, where you can just run around and knife them like this. And that's, of course, the best idea for you is to run around and just knife as many as you can, get as many points as you can really, really quick. Because as soon as the second siren goes off and everything starts to go crazy, they'll all start running at you. And they get a lot harder to kill at that point. And that's when you're going to want to, I mean, if you're playing multiplayer, that's when you're going to want to jump here on the teleporter and, you know, get your Pez hat on and stuff like that. But I'm just showing you a bunch of little quick things that I figured out along the way, playing with some subs and some of my friends and things like that. If you want to get back to get Juggernog, all you got to do is all four of you, or all three or two, however many you're playing, have to jump back on that teleporter again, and that teleporter is the one that's outside of the moon map. And you see, we got screwed a little bit because when we came back, it was Speedy Cola, but it actually switches back and forth between Jug and, well, I don't want to say back and forth, but it randomly chooses between Speedy and Juggernog down here, and then the other 6 perks, of course, are upstairs. So you just kind of like have to hang out a little bit before the cage lifts up, so you can jump back on the teleporter and get the hell out of here. Now that area seems like it's a pretty cool area to be if you're playing solo and you want to get a lot of points. It seems like it might be a bit tougher multiplayer, however. And of course, in the end, all of this is just a bad dream. But here is the dog round, I guess you could call him, or the Pentagon Thief guy, or the the George look-alike, whatever it is. This astronaut chooses one of the names from your friends list, and he just runs around or walks around really slowly and messes everything up. And now you can see the little hole for the vril generator at the base of the pyramid. And here's Mule Kick, of course, which gives you 3 guns, which is really, really sick. Actually, one thing I did want to comment about the slow-moving astronaut, the redhead or the deadhead or whatever you want to call him. This guy, when he takes you and teleports you, if you have perks, they'll all disappear. So that guy can be a real jerk, so you got to watch out for him. He's actually not that difficult to kill, but during zombie rounds I can see how he can be a big pain in the ass. Same thing with these jumpers. Because if you don't have Juggernog when you're jumping around and you're not careful, you really have to like not move too much, but just kind of tweak your trajectory so you land right on the jumpers, and then there's special pads for you to land on. If not, you just end up getting downed like that. Now, of course, this thing right here is part of the Easter egg, and I'll admit that I had found this but didn't know what to do with it at first, because I actually had found it from the other side, like on the other side of the railing, hearing the noises. I didn't think to come around to this side and look at the monitors, but later on I saw this in someone's video, and so came back and tried to do it. And I love Simon Says. I don't know about you guys, but Simon Says was a great game. But this one's a little bit more annoying because you have to kind of like position yourself right in the center, otherwise you're accidentally pressing the wrong button, or not the wrong button, but you're pressing the wrong color and the whole thing gets messed up. But it's real simple. You just, you sit and let it beep a color on all the screens, and then you go and you press that color, and then it adds a second color, a third color, making it increasingly harder. Now, of course, Simon Says is a lot harder than this because you're timed, and this one gives you a little bit of leeway as far as time is concerned in between the colors, so you don't have to worry about being really super, super fast. But yeah, so this obviously is the first part of the Easter egg. The second part I found out on my own accidentally. I didn't even realize it was part of the Easter egg until the next time after this that I played, and I tried to go mess around with it again, and you couldn't do it because I hadn't done the Simon Says part first. But you go and pick up the hacking tool, which is kind of a neat tool, and there's those things on that wall right there that you have to hack, and then once you do, these panels will start to turn green. And it's a random order of panels that turn green, but you have to just go through and hack every single one for it to shut down some sort of protocol or whatever. As far as the rest of the Easter eggs concerned, I don't really know what the next step is. I know there's a bunch of steps already online from NGT Zombies, and eventually, if I get too frustrated, I may end up just going and watching exactly how to do it. Some of the other neat stuff you can do with the hacking devices, you can actually hack your friends or your teammates. And what happens is you'll actually give them 500 points, which is great. That we can now share points, but it kind of sucks at the same time because it's a really slow process. And of course, I say really slow, but nothing, and I mean nothing, is as slow as hacking a doorway. But honestly, if it's the difference between spending 200 points and 1,000 points, I don't mind sitting there for 30 seconds hacking the door. In fact, I just went around and hacked all the doors I could. Obviously, you can't be venturing out too far into space. But speaking of venturing out into space, the hacking tool is actually how you prevent the excavators from breaking into the base. You actually have to run through certain areas of space to get back to the spawn area with the hacking tool, because the hacking tool only appears in that one area on the base that I was just at. So you have to actually venture out without your helmet on for short periods of time in order to get back to the spawn room, or the moon spawn room, and hack into that, hack into the excavators to stop them. And if you don't, it'll eventually depressurize the entire base, so you'll have to wear your mask the whole time. And of course, if you've played Moon, you know that playing with your mask on is a lot more difficult than playing with it off. So it is definitely to your advantage to go around and hack all 4 of the excavators before they get a chance to rip through the base. And that looks like it's going to be it for me, guys. I mean, this game is just really, really awesome. I'm super excited to keep playing it, and I'm going to be putting up my first solo attempt later on tonight. So stay tuned for that. Okay, peace out, guys.